The newest member is a guy named Kash Patel. I think we've been constantly, I think, week by week, trying to divine what the kind of personnel, national security selections tell us about Trump's priorities in the second term. And I think it's fair to say the selection of Kash Patel to be the FBI director tells us it's pure vengeance.
Yes.
Destroying your enemies. That's what we're going to do here. So Trump's last pick to be FBI director was Christopher Wray. He has 3 years left on his 10-year term. Those long terms are supposed to insulate the FBI director from politics, but that is, again, the opposite of what Trump wants. He wants them to be moved by politics. So we're going to replace the guy, I guess. Kash Patel's sole qualification is that he'll do whatever Trump wants. His relevant experience in terms of his resume includes a couple of years as a congressional aide for Devin Nunes, a year or two on the national security staff, some time installed as deputy DNI, director of national intelligence, and then like 2 months as acting chief of staff at the Pentagon. But again, he will say or do anything for Trump. Remember, Kash Patel is the guy who claimed Trump had declassified all these documents that he then took to Mar-a-Lago, even though that claim was absurd on its face and there was no evidence of it. Kash Patel's own former colleagues say his primary focus was getting FaceTime with Trump and kind of feeding his paranoia about the deep state. Patel's former boss at the NSC, this guy named Charles Cooperman, said Patel is, quote, absolutely unqualified for this job. He's untrustworthy, and he called the selection a disgrace. Then here he is on a podcast called The Sean Ryan Show talking about what he'd do if he got the FBI job.
We need to decrease what I call government creep with personnel. The FBI's footprint has gotten so freaking big, and the biggest problem the FBI has come out of its intel shops. I'd break that component out of it. I'd shut down the FBI Hoover building on day one and reopening the next day as a museum of the deep state. And I'd take the 7,000 employees that work in that building and send them across America to chase down criminals. Go be cops. You're cops. Go be cops. Go chase down murderers and rapists and drug dealers and violent offenders. What do you need 7,000 people there for? Same thing with DOJ. What are all these people doing here?
It sounds like he's sincerely asking.
Yeah.
So your reform agenda is you take a bunch of people from one building and send them to other buildings?